Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 46. It's a bit scorchio today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really warm. So we've had to pre-record this a little bit earlier than normal because we're going to the Kings of Leon on Sunday.
We're going to the Col.
Yeah.
The Col concert.
Yeah, so we've got tickets for the Sunday, so we're recording on the Saturday, and it is a boiling. This room that we record in is absolutely scorcho.
So if one of us faint during it, it is what it is.
I might edit that out. A little bit of player news update this week.
Mm-hmm.
We'd noticed, hadn't we, when the lads went to Vegas.
Lads.
we went to. We were looking at all the photos, and we noticed that we couldn't see Callum McFadzean there.
No.
But we weren't 100% sure why. I sort of found out this week. Some people might have already known this, but I found out this week that he has had an operation. So he had a double hernia. So he's had that double hernia operation.
Like a big operation.
It's quite a common operation. I dare say it's not very nice. I've never.
No operation's nice.
No, I've never had
unless
a hernia.
you wake up with big boobs.
I do. What, me?
Yeah.
No, I think if I woke up with big boobs,
that'd be a disaster.
I think something had gone definitely wrong with the operation I'd gone in for.
Yeah, maybe.
But one thing I know about a hernia is that you can't not to be too graphic, but your bowel movements you struggle with them because when you try and force it can pop it.
This is a light entertainment podcast.
I know, but yeah. So
I'm sure Callum McFadzean loves you for giving that information out.
Yeah, so basically you can't put any pressure on the area and doing that causes pressure. Anyway, he had a double hernia operation. He had two choices basically. Have the operation while all the lads were in Vegas, or he could have gone to Vegas and had it when he come back, which would have been about now.
No.
I think it was the sort of 29th, 30th of May. The problem with doing that was he was going to miss part of pre-season, so he decided to give up the trip of a lifetime to actually make sure he was ready for pre-season.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, hats off, I'd say.
That is professionalism.
Yeah,
at its highest.
I would say, sometimes you might question players' professionalism in the sense of, they're in the National League or League Two. They're not in the Premier League, so you'd sort of wonder. I wonder if they take it. I know they take it serious because it's their job, but do they take it as serious as someone in the Premier League? And I think sometimes, of course, but I think sometimes it's nice to be reminded that
they are normal people.
They
as
are,
well.
and they do take it, with the utmost professionalism and take it seriously, and they do things like this. So hats off to you, Callum, for doing
well
that.
Done, Callum. Liam McFadzean then. Liam McAlinden, he has had his contract extended for one more season. Yeah. Which is nice. A lot of people were commenting on this on Twitter, saying that they were a bit surprised, but they're glad. I'm kind of glad he's staying.
I think it's one of them for a player who has
an OG for a start, so.
Yeah, for you, yeah.
For me.
All the OGs for me are well and truly gone.
Yeah.
But, I think it's one of them. He's quite versatile. We tend to play him down the left. He can play in other positions. He is more of an attacking player than a defending player, which one would argue the way that we've been playing, the wing-back role is more attacking than defending.
Very posh. One would argue.
But, I can understand it while being maybe a little confused by it at the same time.
I think you're the only one, like I said.
No,
people have been saying about
I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make use of the players we've already got instead of just getting rid of everybody and trying to bring new players in.
Yeah.
I get that. But yeah,
got a strong squad at the end of the day.
You know, good luck to him. Good luck to him. I don't think he's going to get a lot of game time. But
I think he knows that.
Yes.
And the fact that he's willing to sign an extended contract, that he may be getting another game, is, you know, kudos to him.
Yeah. We've had a new sponsor this week, or we've had a couple.
If you follow Wrexham AFC on Twitter, all the socials basically, they announced that they're going to be having, it's called the Rising Week Partner something.
I don't know.
Can't remember what it was. But anyway, basically it was, they were going to be announcing, you know, sponsors and stuff like that. So the first one, well, actually it's a bit weird because they were supposed to do one on Tuesday the 23rd.
Which I don't think they really did.
We're not sure because they announced that the DSA
had contributed some money towards a viewing platform and that, but I'm not sure that. Anyway,
it might be sponsored by DSA. You don't know, so we're unsure about Tuesdays. But
Wednesday was Betty Buzz have been announced as the sort of training wear sponsor.
Nice, I like it.
Seen some photos, looks really good. Yeah, I'm happy about that. For anybody who doesn't know, Betty Buzz is Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife's company. And I think they were always going to be involved in some way.
It was inevitable that it was going to be, wasn't
and
it?
I think as well, Betty Buzz are now making a bit of a push internationally to get more recognition all around the world as opposed to just in America like they have been. And I think this is one step towards that. Don't know how much the deal's worth. I imagine it's a decent amount, though, I would guess. They're also renaming the Aviation Gin Suite, for anybody who didn't know.
Are they changing it to the Betty Buzz Suite?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Betty Buzz Suite. So they've
I like that. I like that.
So they've taken the naming rights for the basically the posh seats as well. So that'll be the Betty Buzz Suite as of next season. But yeah, all good. The next sponsorship announcement,
controversial.
Was the Stoke Cold Brew Coffee Company, who have basically bought the naming rights for the racecourse. Now, we always have a little laugh when we talk about other teams and the naming rights for their stadiums. But this is the first time Wrexham have ever sold the naming rights for the racecourse. So it will be the Stoke Cold Brew, whatever it's going to be called.
It'll be the racecourse.
It'll be the racecourse. As we always say every week when we discuss the teams that we're going to be playing in League Two, same as today, we'll say, right, this ground is known as this. For sponsorship purposes, it's called this, but the fans will always call it the racecourse. That's what it'll be. That's what it will always be. Selling the naming rights to the stadium is a great way of making some money without the fans having to change what they call the stadium. Ultimately, it's a 7-figure sum, so it's in the millions over the next couple of years. It's a great way to make some money. A few questions that got raised about it was they're quite... I've never heard of them. Who are they? Well, just so everyone is aware, they're part of the Danone group of companies. Danone turnover about £15 billion a year. So this is one of their sort of lower end companies that they're trying to push the brand awareness of that company throughout the world. They're using Wrexham as a bit of a vehicle to help promote that, which is why. So ultimately the deal is not really with Stoke Cold Brew Coffee, an unknown company. It's with Danone, which is huge.
I think another thing that we're getting fans' backs up was the fact that it was called Stoke.
Yeah.
I think people think, well, we've already got a stadium down the road, which is in Stoke.
Which is called the Britannia, which is named after a bank. So it's just one of them. It's, you know.
At the end of the day, it's going to be the racecourse.
Yeah, he'll always be the racecourse. One thing I picked up on Twitter, Craig Jones, and I wanted to, so it's at CraigEJones17, he put a tweet out. He said, I'm sure all sports fans would prefer it if their beloved stadiums and stands weren't sponsored. But nowadays, if you want to be part of the show, you need the dough. Walsall play at the Poundland Stadium and Colorado Rapids play at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. it could be worse.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Poundland Stadium.
Yeah, and it's just one of them, it's like with Walsall have decided to accept a bid from Poundland to for the naming rights for their stadium. Does it change anything? No, because all of their fans will still refer to the ground. Their fans aren't all of a sudden going to start calling it, "Are you coming down the Poundland?" They are still going to call it. Yeah, the same thing they've always done. It's just a case that we can make some decent money.
Money.
Which is brilliant. Competition time.
Oh, it's exciting,
We have a competition. Now, I'm just going to reach over and pick this up. Now, for anybody listening to the podcast, there's going to be a little bit of a leap of faith here, because I am holding in my hand some coasters. You can't see them coasters because you're listening to the podcast.
What do Americans call coasters?
I don't know.
Placemat. What do you call... Let us know. What do you Americans, Canadians, all of you international fans, what do you call things that you put your cup of tea or beer or whatever? We call them coasters.
Yeah, I think they're coasters.
No.
So, I think they're internationally coasters. So we're doing a competition. These here, so I'll show a couple of them. So they're basically Wrexham kits from down the years.
They're amazing.
They are absolutely amazing, these are. Now, they are made by Football Shirts Galore. Now, if you haven't heard of this company, what we'll do, if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link down to them in the description. If you are listening on the podcast, as I say, you can't see what we're holding up here.
They're really good though.
But they are amazing, and there's quite a few of them.
They're really good quality as well. They're not
really
just
good.
botched together. They are really, really good quality.
They're made by, as I say, Football Shirts Galore. We will link them down in the description so you can have a look. We have lots of these. This week, we're going to give away a set of 4 of these to one of you lucky people out there. And trust me, they are amazing. They're brilliant. They're well worth it.
Definitely.
It's free to enter. And it's worth saying, it's open to anybody worldwide. So we don't care where you are. If you are the winner,
as long as the post delivered to you,
yeah, as long as you can get a postman to you, then we will deliver them anywhere in the world. So don't worry if you think, oh, I live in Canada, I live in Australia. We'll pay for the postage wherever it is if you are picked out. We will do everyone who enters. We'll do a little draw for who actually wins them, and trust me, they're amazing.
I've just had a thought.
What?
I'm going to throw this in while we're live on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Why don't we do one competition? So, we'll do the competition, but we'll pick one winner internationally and one winner locally.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was only planning on giving away 4, but yeah. All right then. As I say, it's free to enter. All you have to do to enter, like this episode on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and send us a message however you want. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, email us at me, the wife from Wrexham AFC. All the message has to say is, I want them coasters.
Also, you need to follow on Instagram and Facebook at Football Shirts Galore.
Yes. So make sure you follow them as well, and then we'll pick a winner out from them. So on Facebook and Twitter, they are at Football Shirts Galore. On Twitter, sorry, I just froze completely. On Twitter, they are at FS_galore. They're amazing. We're going to put some pictures on our social media so you can have a proper look at them. So head over there, have a look. As I say, enter the competition. Wherever you are in the world, we will send you a set of 4 of these. Okay?
Yes. Exciting.
So, quick chat about 2 of the teams that we're going to face next season.
Yeah, Salford City.
Yes. So basically, I've picked the 2 losing teams from the League 2 playoff semi-finals. So that's how they're linked this week. So the first one's Salford City.
Is Salford City the one that's owned by the Manchester...
Oh, I'm so glad you've read the notes. We're coming on to that.
It doesn't say that.
Oh, what's that say there?
I have not read that.
No, I know you haven't read it.
Sorry.
So, Salford City. I prepare notes every week, and as you can see, Sham never reads them. They're 58 miles away from Wrexham. They play at Moor Lane. Brackets, the Peninsula Stadium for sponsorship reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it'll be known locally as Moor Lane. So the capacity is 5,108, which may well seem quite small to a lot of people. It was expanded in the 2016-2017 season. But I think what you've got to bear in mind with Salford City is they were quite low down the leagues. I think they were in the 8th tier of professional football. As you quite rightly say, they were bought out by some famous ex-footballers, which I'll come on to in a minute. They invested some money and they've sort of shot up the leagues. Because they were in the 8th tier, and they've been in the 8th tier for quite a while prior to that, their stadium was very small, very basic. So they've made some improvements to make it bigger, and they're currently at 5,108. It's
a bit of a bizarre number, that, isn't it? 5,108.
I suppose, yeah. There's 1,200 away fans, which, to be fair to Salford, that is a hefty chunk of your total capacity. I mean, you know, there are people we've given 1,000 tickets to, you know, travelling fans. We've got 10,000. You know, they're giving 1,200 away for just 5,000, you know. So it's a good sort of 20% of the total capacity that they're giving away to away fans, and you don't get that very often.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be quite difficult getting tickets for that.
Possibly, just down the road. So they finished 7th on 75 points, and they were knocked out of the playoffs by local rivals Stockport, which are obviously just down the road. Bit of a derby for them too, Salford Stockport. A quick point to make. They're owned by the class of 92.
Well, that's it, not the Manchester 7.
Not the Manchester 7, no. Yeah, the class of 92 is Ryan Giggs, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes. So they're ex-Man United football players, for anybody who doesn't know. They were quite disillusioned with grassroots football, basically, and they wanted to invest in a team lower down the leagues and help them progress, and they have, to be fair.
Fair play.
Peter Lim bought 50% of the club off them not long after that. Do you know who Peter Lim is? I think he's
Is he a player?
No, he's a Singaporean businessman. Singaporean?
Is that a proper word?
Yeah, he's from Singapore.
Well, I got he was from Singapore.
Singaporean.
Oh.
Yeah. He has been involved in football in a few capacities in the past. David Beckham recently bought a 10% stake as well, to be with his mates.
So it's how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Manchester.
Plus Peter Lim.
Oh, yeah, it's the Manchester 7.
The Manchester 7.
Although
they do sound like a group of bank robbers.
Yeah, well,
from the 1940s. In 2014-15, as I said, they were in the 8th tier. They've had 4 promotions in 5 seasons up to League 2. They were promoted via the playoffs for the National League when they finished 3rd, and we were 4th that season when they got promoted. We beat them. I remember me and my dad going to watch them. We beat them 5-1 on Boxing Day when we were in the same league.
I think you've spoken about that before. We watched the documentary, didn't we?
About Salford,
I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That season we lost 1-0 to Eastleigh in the Eliminator in the playoffs. The top scorer last season was Callum Hendry. Facts.
Good.
Just facts. So but I'm quite interested. I would like to go to Salford. Yep. There will be a bit of a mad scrum, I think, for tickets.
You're pretty good at getting tickets, though.
I am good.
You're on it like a carb on it.
Yeah, ticket ninja, me.
Yeah, when you're on 210, you are. But when you're on 6-2, a bit more difficult.
Yeah, I still do it, though. Still get it done.
Yeah, you go on your break, don't you?
Yeah.
Aye.
See, ticket ninja.
Ticket ninja. Bradford City.
Bradford City. So they're 93 miles away. Not massive, up by Leeds that way. So Bradford Leeds would be a bit of a a derby, if anybody is interested in locations. They play at Valley Parade. Now, Bradford...
It's not known as anything...
It might be, but I don't know. Their capacity at Valley Parade is 25,136. It was expanded in 2016, 2017.
Wow, that's a big stadium.
It is. Again, it holds 1,200 away fans.
That's rubbish.
Yeah, but although, if there is a large away following, they opened the TL Dallas stand, which holds a further 1,840. So, potentially, you could have 3,000 away fans at that ground.
I just find it bizarre. I know we don't give many tickets out because obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But 25,000, do they fill that, really?
No, not really. But they did for the playoffs. Their home playoff game, they did fill it, but they don't fill it for the league games. I think a rule of thumb should be 10%. I think that's fair. I do. So if you've got 10,000, you give 1,000 away. 25,000, you give 2,500 away. For me, that's fair. Because you've still got 90% of the fans in that ground if you sell all your tickets at home fans.
Yeah.
I think 10% is a fair amount.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to have more home fans, don't you, than away fans.
They finished 6th on 76 points, and they were knocked out of the playoffs by Carlisle,
who are playing Stockport. Is it today? Is that
tomorrow?
Or Sunday?
That's so for anybody listening to this now, yesterday. For us recording this now, tomorrow. So they're called the Bantams.
The Bantams.
The Bantams. They've got a big cock on their badge.
What did we go with that?
Yeah.
I just read it then and you said, oh.
Yeah, a cockerel, maybe I should say.
You could have said a big cockerel instead of a...
Well, I think technically it's a bantam, not a cockerel.
I don't even know what a bantam is.
A cockerel.
Right.
Yeah, Google it.
I have to bleep that out.
No. I'm referring to the farmyard animal. Shocked you then, didn't I?
Very much so, yeah.
They play in claret and amber.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
claret is obviously a red, and amber's like an orangey colour.
It's like a burgundy and orange.
Oh, no.
Well, weirdly, they're the only professional football club in England to play in them colours.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Well,
Fashion police.
It's quite handy though, because you don't have to change your.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Strip, yeah. They're managed by Mark Hughes.
Mark Hughes.
So for anyone who doesn't know who Mark Hughes is, Mark Hughes is a Wrexham boy, basically. Not a boy anymore, but he was born in Ruaben, which is just up the road, So he's from Wrexham.
He's a Wrexham lad. He
is a Wrexham lad. When some people may know Mark Hughes, who are new to the club, is when we played Sheffield United, he was on the broadcast, basically, talking about Wrexham and growing up in Wrexham and all that sort of stuff.
Did he ever play or manage Wrexham?
No.
So he had apart from being a fan maybe. But
no, he played for Man United and Chelsea.
Oh, he was with the big boys then.
Yeah. So he's there you go. That's Mark Hughes, basically. So I think that's that. Excited? Would you go to both of them?
Yeah.
If we get tickets, yeah. I think we
why not?
Definitely go to both of them.
Yeah.
There's quite a few teams in this league that I would consider as close. The ones that aren't close, I would very much. There's quite a few in the bracket of not close.
Carlisle being one if they stay down.
Yeah, but that I would still like to go to. Like MK Dons, would love to go to MK Dons.
I think we have to go there.
Yeah, you've got people like who else? You got Wimbledon. That'd be a really good away day. That would.
You'd have to stay there though.
Well, yeah.
Well, Alfie will be pleased. He loves a hotel.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, absolutely. So this week, we obviously we do our little fan forum every week where we try and welcome somebody on, new fan, old fan, somebody who's local, somebody who's not local. Now, this podcast appears to appeal to the new fan more. I think that's mainly because of Sian, and Sian's a new fan, and so I think
it's all me.
We also tend to appeal to a lot of a large American audience as well. So this week we have another American on the show. So his name's Eric. He is from Indiana. So welcome to Me, the Wife from Wrexham AFC. Eric, how are you doing?
Great. I'm doing really good. How are you guys doing over there? Enjoying the heat?
Yeah, it is hot. We record in such a tiny little room.
Yeah, it's not great.
Any heat that we get here is just magnified by about 10. So we're absolutely sweating at the moment. But...
Well, with the success of the podcast, I would think you could buy an air conditioner, but that's just a suggestion.
maybe just a desktop fan. Maybe. Yeah, we're not
quite. Yeah,
we'll start with the fan. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. So Eric, you are American, born in Indiana, but I believe you've got some UK blood in you.
Yeah, both my grandparents, actually. My grandmother was Scottish. Grandfather was Welsh. Unfortunately, they both passed about 10 years ago. But growing up, it was a big part of my life. They spent a lot of time with them on Sundays, and they would turn on the game for us. And at the time, we're talking, I'm in my 40s.
So are we. It's fine.
In the early 90s, it was all about Arsenal, and that's what we could get on the television here. So that's what we watched. So, but my brother and I both played the game since we were, 6 years old. I was always he was a striker. I was always a keeper. I think that was by default, though. I just think my dad wanted him to hit me with the ball. So, and it kind of evolved from there. So yeah, I mean, the love for the game has been there for a very, very long time. Yeah, it's always something we've enjoyed. I've never really watched the other leagues, never gotten to the German leagues, but my connection with my grandparents always led me to English football.
So when did you first become aware of Wrexham as sort of a new fan? Was it sort of similar to sort of a lot of the other sort of new fans? It was the Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney sort of saga that led you to Wrexham.
It was. I had seen prior to their purchase the rumors that Ryan Reynolds was going to buy a football club, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. And then I didn't think much of it, and then my wife had actually it was my wife. She told me, she goes, hey, they're making a television program and it's going to be on streaming. She goes, we ought to watch it. And I'm like, wow, yeah, let's watch it. And then after the first 10 minutes of the first episode, I'm like, this town, this whole story is so eerie to me because my grandfather's connection, and then with the story of the town and how it kind of progressed over the years. I mean, in Indiana, in here, we're a huge steel town. We have steel mills all around us. I worked in them for many years, and the downfall of them kind of mimicked the downfall that Wrexham had over the years. And it was just something that really resonated with me. And the football on top of it was it's been remarkable. And I love seeing the team succeed. I love seeing the town succeed. And when Rob and Ryan talked about how that was their goal, it was really never about, I mean, clearly they're in for business. They're going to do some profits. They're doing what they can, but it's always been the town first from our side, from what we've seen.
Yeah.
And I especially appreciate that because, we're at here. It just seems like we don't get that kind of local support, and the fact that you guys are getting it is, it really ups the town and it ups us too. So we like it.
Do you remember what the first Wrexham game that you actually watched was? I know it's not that long ago, but does it sort of stick in the memory for you?
So I actually started streaming the season. I had got the National League Pass, which was, how do I put it? The National League Pass for me was a little sketchy. The service isn't exactly what I was hoping for, but I got to see the games, which I was very thankful for. I picked it up right after the Chesterfield loss was the next game I had watched, and then I hadn't really missed one since. I did miss one of the FA Cups. I think it was the second game against the Spartans. I think I missed that one, but other than that, I've streamed every game.
Do you have a favourite game out of all the ones that you watched this season?
I do, and it's not going to be the one that everybody thinks. Everybody says Notts County, right? That was a great match. But the game where Sam Dalby in the 97th minute against Aldershot, that game, man. Oh, what a game that was. I'm telling you, I mean, you talk about on the edge of your seats. That was the game where I knew they were gonna absolutely crush this league and win the league, or it was going to be the worst, most devastating loss of my entire human existence. What a game, though, right? Sam Dalby, holy cow!
We love Sam Dalby.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
What is it like? I'm always interested. I have asked a few of the guests that we've had on this before, but do you sort of feel as involved being thousands of miles away, or do you sort of feel like you're missing out because because you're not here? If you get what I mean.
I think with my history, really following Arsenal in the early '90s and things like that, it's kind of always been normal for us to watch a football club that's been thousands of miles away. We've made multiple trips over there. We've gotten to see Arsenal and stuff like that. But I mean, for me being here, it doesn't really change a lot. We do have some local, I guess, like semi-pro teams around that occasionally we keep up with and we watch, but we just don't have doesn't have the caliber, doesn't have the quality that we really see when we're watching games overseas, and I don't think it's been difficult. And with social media and kind of the advent of all these streaming services, it's made it a lot easier. I feel more connected than ever. It's not like I'm not turning on my local television and getting, the latest news from Wrexham, which is fine because I have an app for that and I can look it up or I can listen to you guys, and I get all the same information that I would if I was listening to Joe Blow talking head on the local news tell me about what's going on. I'd rather hear it from you guys anyway. So, I mean,
thanks.
yeah, I mean, for distance, I don't think distance is an issue anymore. I just really don't. I think we're past that. I think we've moved on. So I think anybody could be a supporter wherever. Over here, I'm not sure if you guys how familiar you are with our sports systems, but the Chicago Cubs are an amazingly boring team that the entire country seems to want to watch at all times, and I have no idea why. It sucks, but everybody does it. And wherever you go, somebody's a Chicago Cubs fan. So why is it weird for me to be a Wrexham fan in the United States? I don't see the disconnect. To me, it's just the team you support, you like the town, you like the story, you like the game. Have at it.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm completely with you. I have talked about this before, but I've been a New York Giants fan for 25 years, maybe slightly more than that. So to me, like I've said before, I've never even been to New York. Never mind going to watch the Giants play. But when I'm watching them games, sort of week in, week out, I don't really necessarily feel disconnected in the way that if I was living in New York, I would get most of my information from the TV. So it's the same, just because, a team might be around the corner or it might be thousands of miles away, you're still pretty much getting all your information about that team from the same place. It doesn't, just because we live in Wrexham, it doesn't mean we're down at the ground every day trying to get into press conferences and find out the information. It's still
we'd love that though.
Yeah, we would, but it's still from Twitter or it's still from YouTube. It's in the same way that if you are 3,000 miles away. So yeah, I definitely get that.
You got to remember, Ryan, I want you to do one thing. You're a New York Giants fan, but just understand nobody's perfect. I mean, that's your thing, and we accept you for it. Yeah, we accept you for it. It's okay, buddy. It's going to be okay.
Oh, thanks to both of you. Yeah, that's amazing. Look, I've in my 25 years, I've got to see. I've seen a couple of Super Bowls and I'm happy with that. But, for the last, I think we're definitely turning a corner. I think that we could say that. I think this season we probably overachieved and overperformed. And I think next season, watch out. Everyone needs to watch out for the Giants.
At least you've got Wrexham.
Season. Yeah, I know. I suppose so. Right. Well, thank you very much, Eric. We'll come back to you in just a second. So Eric touched on it there. So I just wanted to sort of touch on the streaming services that are available for everyone next season. So a lot of people have been getting in touch because, like Eric, they've subscribed to National League TV. Yeah. Now, we're not in the National League anymore, so everyone's sort of losing their mind going, what are we going to do? Fear not, everybody. So National League TV obviously only covers non-league football. Yeah. So any international fans, just in case you are planning on renewing your subscription, unless you want to watch Chester playing whoever, then don't do that. There'll be a new service available. So there are two options, and we currently don't know which one the club are going to go with. So the EFL use a platform called iFollow.
Yeah.
Okay. So for last season, so iFollow covers the Championship, League One, and League Two. Okay. So it's a streaming service in the same way that National League TV, although there'll be a bigger budget around iFollow than there was National League TV. So 43 clubs last season in the Championship, League One and League Two used iFollow. Okay.
Is that a subscription service?
It will be a subscription service. I'll come on to that in a second, but it's basically a centralised platform. The other 29 clubs in the EFL use their own streaming platform. Okay. So I personally would expect Wrexham to use their own streaming platform. I can't imagine they're going to use iFollow, but we're unsure about that at the moment as to what exactly is going to happen. There's been no announcement, but my guess would be they will use their own platform. They wanted to use their own platform when we were in the National League.
But they said no.
They said no, and that's how we ended up with National League TV. So we will have to wait and see on that one. So UK fans can obviously stream all games apart from the 3 p.m. Saturday games because of the media blackout that we have in this country. International fans can stream all games from League Two.
Yep.
Okay. So the price, again, don't take my word on this, but the price for iFollow, it's not confirmed, but last season it was £10 for a game, which was very similar to National League TV.
Yeah.
It was £25 for a month, or it was £140 for the full season.
On average, how many games do we play a month?
I suppose that depends whether you're doing Saturdays and Tuesdays or whether you're just doing Saturdays. Early on in the season, I mean, you've got 46 games to get through, you know, in the space of 8 months. So, you know, you're going to get, as you well know, you're going to have weeks when you were getting 2 games in a week, you know.
Just thinking what's more worth money.
Eric, you sort of touched on it. What did you make of National League TV? You said you went hugely thrilled with it, but in what way?
So I had a little disappointment with it, mainly because, you know, I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities in National League TV. The build up prior to the game, it's just a screen that just sits there static. You know, that I believe Ryan and Rob, when they look at it wanting to do it, I think they're seeing these gaps in what they're doing on National League TV and seeing that as opportunity, right? Put a Mark Griffiths on there, put a commentator with some knowledge on there that can kind of talk about the game, see what's going on, do some analyzing. I mean, you could even throw, I mean, I hate to say it because I live in America and we are inundated with advertisements and commercials. However, if that gives a little bit of extra revenue to the club, it's an opportunity missed. And I feel also like when you're going into the pre-match of the game, they will start doing live coverage of maybe warm-ups or something like that. It's just dead air. And to me, that's wasted opportunity. Yeah. And I think that the National League TV system, if they could improve upon anything, it would be the viewer experience. You know, that's something that's greatly missing. And I got to think there's a lot of subscribers to it because, I mean, I didn't just watch Wrexham games. I was trying to keep up with what Notts County was doing and trying to watch their matches, especially later in the season. Not that I was hoping they would choke or nothing, but just saying.
We all did.
So, yeah, I mean, if you could close those gaps and make those loopholes just a little bit tighter and tighten up the programming, it would make the experience better, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with that.
Yeah, I do as well. So the iFollow, as I say, is £140 for a full season. I don't know what you paid for, because you didn't get a full season, did you, out of National League TV? It's sort of like a half season sort of pass that you sort of got. So
I did pay full season because I picked up, it was early. It was after the Chesterfield loss. So that was October-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did pay for full season. I missed 4 games. It was just cheaper.
Yeah.
And my wife even said, she goes, well, at least you're getting your money's worth out of it, because I was watching more than just Wrexham. I was trying to watch everybody. So
what do you make of £140, which would be about $180 for a full season? Do you think that's good value for money, or?
That's high. I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money to watch it. I mean, my OnlyFans is not doing real well, so I'm gonna have to figure out how else we're gonna make this work. I just don't know, but I think somehow I'm gonna have to figure it out, because I'm gonna have to do it. I just have to. So I will do it. So if you guys got any suggestions, maybe I'll listen to those, because my side gig just ain't working.
Eric, we have a section on this show that we call the rumour mill. So where we, at the moment, as you can probably imagine, we are being linked with every player under the sun who is maybe coming to the end of a contract, or who's playing really well, or is from 2 leagues above, or is being put on the transfer list. Is there any players out there that you would like to see come in, or more so, is there any sort of positions within the team that you think, oh, maybe it'd be nice to have another striker, another midfielder or defender or anything like that?
So I'm probably not much different than a lot of people right now. The only thing I'm super concerned with is seeing what Ben Foster is going to do. I'm concerned. I played keeper myself. I suffered the same injury Rob Layton did at the Bromley match, and I can tell you that is a hard one to overcome. And I think Rob is a fantastic keeper, but I am concerned that if we can't get, we're going to need somebody else. We're going to need a Ben Foster. Mark Howard did a great job. He made some errors during the season. And I think nobody can deny that. I don't think Mark denies that either. So, but I think Mark is wonderful. However, I still think you need that one more guy. And if that's not Ben Foster, I don't know exactly who it is, but I'm sure Ben's going to get first whack at it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think everything would sort of indicate that Ben is going to come back for at least one season, although it's not a long-term fix, is it? It's a case of somebody for 1, maybe 2 years. He still looks fit. I know he's coming up to, is he 41? Is he coming up to 40? He's
just turned 40.
Yeah, turned 40, yeah.
So next year will be 41.
I dare say, you've got Buffon, who, you might know Buffon, no? Anyway, he plays in Italy. He is considered one of the best goalkeepers ever to have played the game. He is currently 45 and is still playing. You do get people who keep themselves in shape and, still look sharp. I think goalkeepers can definitely go a lot longer than any sort of outfield player. I would, if I was a gambling man, I would put some money on Ben Foster staying for at least 1 year.
Question you do have to ask is, why did he retire in the first place? Was it because he was tired, or was it because he thought it was a good opportunity for him to retire?
I think he'd come to the end of the road with Watford. He felt that his career at Watford was finished. So he left and his contract come to an end. He got a few offers from big clubs.
Yeah.
He turned down Newcastle famously, you know, when they asked if he wanted to be their number 2. And with Newcastle in the position that they're in, being one of the, slowly coming to potentially being one of the biggest clubs in world football with the money they've got and the progression they're making, he knew that turning them down meant he was done.
Yeah.
And it was just the Wrexham project that sort of drew him back out. But yeah.
But look at what the club offers too. Newcastle, yes, he turned down Newcastle's huge club, huge opportunity, probably a huge payday for him too, right? Mm-hmm. And to turn it down. So you got to ask yourself, if he's not interested in the money, he's not interested in the higher tier league, what's he interested in? And I think he's interested in building his own brand, which I'm okay with that. I love Foscast. I listen to it. I think it's entertaining. I think he does a good job of it. And I sincerely believe he loves to be part of this club. I really believe he does. And that's just a win for everybody because he's a fantastic keeper. Yeah. And I think if we have anybody coming up the youth division in Wrexham, he's an opportunity that you don't look at for just being goalie or being keeper on game day. you're looking at him to work with the younger players in the team, and I think that's an avenue that needs to be, exemplified for him, and I think he would do it, and I think he'd do wonderful at it. So if we can build internally, you're going to save a ton of money by building internally. You go out and try to pick up a top tier keeper, what's that going to cost you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. I think the one that came up this week was Macaulay Langstaff came up this week. Now, I don't really want to discuss it because I think it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's a lot of rumours flying about it. Reportedly, Plymouth and Ipswich are also interested. I think our name has purely been thrown into the ring just because of who our owners are, the financial backing that we've got. And I think it's, we know, I'm not going to go through Macaulay Langstaff's stats. We all know who Macaulay Langstaff is. We all know what he's about. We all know he can score goals. I think, Eric, the question is, does a player like that fit into the Wrexham team for you?
Absolutely not. Zero chance of it. And let me expand on that just a little bit, and probably get in trouble doing it. But as a whole, I don't see Macaulay Langstaff as being the kind of playmaker or the kind of person who creates opportunity on the field. I just don't believe he's always found himself at the right place at the right time, which is great. That's instinct for a striker. He's knowing the gaps to fill, but I have not, and I've watched many Notts County games this season, and I can tell you that if a team can just isolate Macaulay Langstaff, they've got the opportunity to win. And that's exactly what we did at the race course on that fabled day. And there's great memes going around, like, looking for Macaulay Langstaff on a milk cart, he didn't show up that day. And I think that's 100% to do with Ben Tozer and the way that he was able to encapsulate and just shut him down. He had no opportunities, he had no chances. And to me, a player like Paul Mullen, or even Ollie Palmer, even though he's on a little bit of a drought right now, those are the kind of guys that they will find a way to make an opportunity. If it's playing out of their comfort zone, they find it. And for just somebody who can just shoot the openings, which is what a Macaulay Langstaff style striker is, he doesn't fit us. I just don't believe he fits the team. I might be wrong. Could be wrong. Probably not wrong, though.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Do you know what, Eric? I completely 100% agree, and we've sort of talked about it before, in the sense of I very much think exactly your analysis of it. I think if Macaulay Langstaff isn't getting chances, then that is it. That's the end of the story. He just isn't getting chances. Whereas with Paul Mullin, if he isn't getting chances, he will go and try and create his own chances, which we saw against Boreham Wood.
Yeah.
The ball he picked up out wide. He wasn't getting chances for 10, 20, 30 minutes prior to that. So he was out on the touchline. He created his own chance. And I just don't think Macaulay Langstaff is that sort of player. Although, if just to play devil's advocate for a second, I do believe that we definitely have the players. It would be an interesting combination to have somebody like Langstaff, who is a deadly finisher, with the players we've got, like, your Elliot Lees, your Andy Cannons, your sort of Ryan Barnett, and your Mendy's down the wing. In a team like Wrexham, Langstaff is always going to get chances. So you would always fancy him to be getting 25, 30 goals in a season. And when things aren't really going your way, then that's when you would maybe look to Mullin to then create something out of nothing. So just like I say, I don't think there's any truth in it. I agree with Eric that I'm not sure he's the best fit, although I can see people's argument that it's always nice to have a proven goal scorer, which we already have, by the way. I'm not saying we don't, but to have another proven goal scorer in the team, I think there is an argument for it.
Yeah.
It's not my argument. It's not Eric's argument. It's not your argument. No. But there is an argument for it. I think where the whole idea of Langstaff falls down is we very much, we like, when things aren't going our way and we aren't able to play the ball around in the way we do, we like to knock the ball long.
Yeah.
And knocking the ball long to somebody, Paul Mullin never wins a ball in the air. He doesn't, because
very little.
Yeah, because the centre halves he's playing against are usually about 6'4", 6'5", 6'3" on a bad day. Mullin's what, 5'10", maybe 5'9". Yeah, so he's not winning them balls in the air.
No,
he's not. So that's what you go to Ollie for. And Ollie's 6'5", or Sam 6'3". Again, they're winning balls in the air and they're knocking them down. And then Paul's there, or one of the sort of midfielders are there as well. So I think where it falls down, if you take Ollie out of the team or you take Sam out of the team and you replace it with another 5'9" striker, I think that eliminates a whole dynamic of your game when things maybe aren't going your way. Anyway, time is rushing on. I've been talking and talking.
Well, let me throw one out you then here. We talked about the people who feed Macaulay Langstaff and how our team could do it. I think there was an opening for us to grab a Notts player that would have filled it, and that would have been Adam Chickson. I think he runs that side on Notts County on Meadow Lane, just unbelievable. He was a remarkable winger that they had. Yeah. And I think there was a missed opportunity there, especially if we were going to go after somebody that was probably not as high priced as some of the people that are being flown around there. He would have been a huge benefit, and I would have taken him 7 days a week over Macaulay Langstaff personally. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I just think the money that is potentially going to fly about for Langstaff is, I'm not saying we can't afford it. What I am saying, though, is it's sort of an all your eggs in one basket. We don't want to be that club who just come along and blow all of our budget that we have on one player when potentially we could pick up two very good players for the same price that Langstaff's going to cost.
He was talking about Chickson.
Yeah, I know he was. He made the point that Chickson could have been bought for a lot less than Langstaff, which I do completely agree with. And I think pursuing someone like Langstaff for the sort of money that he's going to go for is a bit of a no-no for me. And I do agree about Chickson as well. I think he was superb last season, and I think it was, but, again, if I was Notts County and I was sitting there, yes, they've got a little bit of debt.
Bit, 14 million.
Yeah, but yeah. But do you want to be selling a player to Wrexham? I'm not sure they do. I think they would more than happy to sell to anybody else apart from
100%.
us, I would say.
So I think we're about 10 weeks off the next season, the 23-24 season. Where do you think, Eric, we are going to finish next season?
The bookmakers have already been talking about this, and I think they've already put their 2 cents in. I think it's going to be another year just like this past season where you're going to see Notts County and probably Wrexham dueling it out, but with a much higher degree of competition. I believe it's going to get a lot more intense. We started getting very physical with Notts County towards the end of that match, and I think it's only going to continue to escalate itself through this season. Do I think we'll finish at the top of the league? Oh yeah, that's happening. How do you not think that? Right? Look at that, champions. You can't go down on it, right? So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's not to the degree of failure that it would have been getting second place in this league. Because you're still going to get that promotion and you're still going to go up. But I don't believe we're there to finish second. I don't believe Parkey is trying to build a team to get second place. I think he's trying to build a team and a. That it's a minimum 4 victories all the way to the top.
Right. Well, I've really enjoyed all that little chat, but we now have the quiz.
You are going down.
So there are 5 sections. There's 5 sections.
Right.
I will read out in each section 3 statements. 2 of them are lies. 1 of them is the truth. You just have to pick the truth out. Okay. Are you both ready?
No.
Eric.
Bring it, Ryan. You ain't got nothing.
Okay, the first one. Number 1. This week, we have been linked with Macaulay Langstaff. In 2016, he had an unsuccessful trial at Wrexham as a 19-year-old. So that's the first one. Number 2. The capacity of the Wrexham Lager stand is 4,200. And number 3. All of our league goals this season were scored by just 9 players.
Shall I go first?
Yes.
I'm going to say... Are we telling you what the truth is?
The truth, yes. 2 lies, 1 truth. So tell us what the truth is.
I think the truth is the capacity of the Wrexham Lager stand.
Okay. Eric, what do you think?
I begrudgingly have to agree.
Okay.
That is the truth.
You are both correct.
Yay!
That is true.
Woo-hoo!
Well done. Number 2. The phone number for the Wrexham club ends in 1864. Number 2. To celebrate becoming league champions this season, the lads were treated to a trip to Las Vegas. The last time we were champions was 1978, when the team were taken on a 3-day holiday to a caravan park in Rhyl as their reward. Shan. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, hello. Third one.
Jordan Tunnicliffe scored an own goal against Wrexham while playing for AFC Fylde in 2018.
What, he was playing for Fylde?
Yes.
I'm going to go with, purely because I think it's hilarious, the little trip to Rhyl.
Okay. Eric?
Well, I'm going to break your heart on this one, Sean, because it was 1979 when they won the last championship, so you are definitely wrong. But the right answer is the phone number.
Eric, it is the phone number. Well done. Well done.
Oh, my God.
Number 3. Number 3. Between 1905 and 1921, Wrexham played in the Birmingham and District League. Number 2. During his playing career, Phil Parkinson played 56 games for Chester. And number 3, the highest ever attendance at the racecourse was 24,445 for an FA Cup game against Manchester United in 1957.
Okay, well, the capacity... Oh, man, you got the cop. Yeah. I'm going to say Phil Parkinson.
Phil Parkinson. Eric?
This is a tough one. I'm also going to go Parky on this one.
Okay. No, you're both wrong on that one. Wrexham actually played in the Birmingham and District League between 1905 and 1921. Number 4. Ollie Palmer has 5 middle names.
Crikey.
Number 2. James Jones' middle name is Jeffrey. James Jeffrey Jones.
JJJ.
Jacob Mendy's middle name is Mendy.
I'm going to go with the Mendy one.
Okay. Eric.
Seems weird, but I'm going with James Jones on this one, even though Triple J is pretty cool. I think I got to go with that one. I think Ollie having 5 of them, I think you're out there.
Okay, so Ollie Palmer only has 1 middle name. That's James. Callum McFadzean's middle name is Jeffrey, not James Jones. So Jacob Mendy's middle name is Mendy. His name is Jacob Mendy.
Weird.
I know. And the last one. In the league last season, we scored more goals in the first 10 minutes of games than we did in injury time at the end of the game. Number 2, the last time Wrexham won the Welsh Cup was in 1989. Or number 3, the first league Wrexham entered was called the Division in 1890. Shan.
The last one, the Division.
The Division. Eric?
I'm going with we score more goals in the opening 10.
Eric is right, and that means Eric wins 3-2. Well
it's not
done.
fair. Eric's been a fan for years and years and years. Well done, Eric.
Yeah, well done. Eric, I just want to say thank you very much for being a guest on today. It's been amazing. We've loved having you on. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for tuning in this week, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye. Bye.